The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera, and by ShootProof, the easy way to proof and sell your photos online.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina as they chat about the art and business of photography.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 137. I'm Joseph Christina. On last week's episode, we brought to you a CES and PMA wrap-up, including new cameras, lenses, accessories, and a bunch of super cool techie products. If you haven't watched last week's show, I encourage you to do so. You can find it at our website, digitalphotographycafe.com, and iTunes, listen with the popular Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox Music apps, or watch in HD on TiVo. So, all right, guys, we are back. It's another week. You can see I'm wearing a hoodie. It is super, super cold here today. We actually had the kids get up extra early. We're in Florida, if you guys don't know, to get outside to see the ice that was formed on the windows on the cars. It was just odd. That just, usually doesn't happen. So anyways, it is cold. I'm in the studio and it's pretty cold out here. So anyways, we got a good show for you. Last week, it was probably an hour long. We try to keep them to like a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes the most, to try to keep with a standardized type of show. But last week, there was so much stuff going on with both CES and PMA news and all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't watched last week's show, like I said, definitely go back and listen or watch that. There's a ton of good information. We got a good show for you this time also here on show 137. A lot of good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Adobe starts out the lineup. And, we love Adobe. We use Adobe. We've been criticizing them for a long time because they've been doing stuff for us to criticize and to harp on because they've kind of been not with it, let's say, on a couple occasions. But regardless, something breaks out, and I think this is really amazing. We've been looking for this for quite some time. And what it is, it's a screenshot that we have of someone actually trying to put an order through for Adobe Lightroom for mobile. So now people are like, well, what is that? That's not even available. Exactly. That is the whole point. So 9to5Mac has this up on the site as an order form that someone tried ordering this product. And sure enough, it comes up as Adobe Lightroom for mobile annual. So obviously it is a script. It is a subscription, and it's $99. Of course, that's gone immediately. You can't find it anymore. It was probably just a mistake. But the idea of it is something that we've been looking for a long time from Adobe. We want to be able to take a look at our photos and do some basic editing away from the quote-unquote big machine, maybe on an iPad. I think that would be great. So now it looks like they are releasing this mobile app, which is Mobile Lightroom. So I'm guessing it's going to have, raw editing capabilities. Might be dumbed down slightly. I don't know. The processing power on the iPad is pretty good. So it might be able to handle some, more complex processing. But even if it doesn't, being able to view your images, do even minor modifications, do selections and whatnot, and maybe be in the comfort of your home on a couch for a scheduled meeting with a client the next day in the studio and not have to be at the studio. I think it's really, really cool. So it's still unclear if this is going to be just a localized type of thing where you have to be on a Wi-Fi connection to your main catalog, or if this will be cloud-based, or maybe they'll have two. Maybe they'll have this $99 app that will be, let's say, that you can edit anywhere, and then maybe they'll have a cheaper app that be only local. It's still yet to be seen. But the idea of it is great. We've been asking for this for quite some time, and it seems like Adobe is about ready to release it. So we don't know this, obviously, for sure. This is kind of like breaking news, kind of rumors, but it looks like it is, moments away, so to speak. So look for that. Adobe Lightroom, but mobile version. So kind of cool. Like it. More from the Adobe side. Photoshop CC. We we just found that Creative Cloud version updated to 14.2. So he went through there and looked at like all of these. I mean, just a slew of things. There's a lot of new things in the Photoshop CC, the new release. And the two that really caught my eye that are, that are stand out that you guys will probably want to know about is the perspective warp. Is one of them that I really like. I think this is really cool. And I saw a video on this, and it shows them taking a covered bridge, let's say, or a bridge, and they said, well, I want to put a train on this bridge. So they go and grab some stock photography of a train, an old train, and they stick it into the image. And obviously the train is floating over the tracks. The perspective is not, way it should be. And the guy's like, okay, so now watch this. He goes and grabs the train and now warps it, but 3-dimensionally instead of just, that 2D type of warping where you're kind of, moving it left, right, skewing it left and right, and maybe bending it towards you back. This is actually manipulating the whole thing, but 3-dimensionally. So they actually take the train and put it directly on the tracks, and the thing looks, it looks real. It's pretty cool. Now, is this something that I'm going to use as a portrait photographer, or let's say, if you do weddings or landscape? Maybe not. It might be good if you're shooting buildings and you're doing real estate or whatnot, and you want to kind of change things. And, right now you can warp things pretty well, but this, with this new, this perspective, this might really help you warp things so it really looks good. So I don't know. Take a look. This is going to be in the new 14.2. For Photoshop CC, and it is perspective warp. Very cool. The other thing that looked interesting, which this is a major piece for me, at least something I would use all the time. And this is this linked smart objects. Now we know we've had smart objects forever, right? Where you stick in an object into your composite, then you can go off and you can do your edit, and that edit will show up in your composite. That's great. Well, the way this linked smart objects works is it works like globally. So you're working in multiple different. Let's say you're in Illustrator and you're in Photoshop and wherever your asset, your photo, let's say, is sitting somewhere else on a drive or maybe even the cloud. I don't know, wherever. Whenever you make that modification will automatically show up in Photoshop CC as that modified version. If for some reason it's not available at that moment, it will still put in a copy, let's say a high-res version of it, and say, hey, you need to relink. We currently can't find this file. So you won't have, where you're all of a sudden you have all these broken links all over the place. You will be able to go and relink if need be. And tell it, okay, it's time to link at this specific moment because I just made changes, or it will happen automatically if it's already linked up. So I like that a lot because we do a lot of compositing, especially if we're going to be doing an ad campaign and we're working on, or we're doing a front cover on a magazine, or maybe we're doing an album for a bride. There's a lot of compositing that are going on with a ton of pictures and text, and everything is all linked together. And, God forbid one thing breaks, or, there's a Thunderbolt drive that just went down or something. And now, you can't see what you're doing anymore because the content's missing. This is pretty neat. This is something that we would definitely use on a regular basis in comparison to, which I thought was great, was the perspective warp. But anyways, this one is one of those that I'll say kudos to Photoshop. It's definitely one of these things that are moving them forward. We always say the whole, idea of iterating in comparison to coming up with stuff new. And this is pretty new. This is iterating off something that's been done in the past, but it's making it much better. So it's kind of neat. Anyways, moving forward, we listened. We're like GoPro people, right? We love the whole idea, and we've told you guys in the past, if you're a wedding photographer, get these little cameras. It doesn't have to be GoPro or something like it, and stick them all over the place. And you have, a ton of content. You have A-roll, B-roll, C-roll, whatever, all kinds of different angles and whatnot. So Conan O'Brien, we listen to him sometimes late night, and he just introduced this funny new piece, this segment that he's doing, and it's called Complete Waste of a GoPro. And we're gonna have to play the video for you.
Love those GoPro cameras. People use them to shoot amazing footage. Sports networks use them all the time for things like, well, check it out. There's like surfing, incredible footage. You can get great snowboarding footage. You can get amazing skydiving footage with a GoPro. It's fascinating. It's changed the way we look at the world.
Sure.
Well, I just got a couple of GoPro cameras for Christmas, and I don't do any of that extreme stuff.
Yeah.
What I did instead is I attached them to a few mundane things around the studio. It's something we call complete waste of a GoPro. Tonight's first complete waste of a GoPro camera, we attached one to the slide on La Bamba's trombone. There it is right there. Let's see if that looks exciting. Go ahead, La Bamba. Wow. I put a GoPro at the bottom of my coffee mug, okay? I think that's a complete waste of a GoPro. Let's check it out right now. We even attached a GoPro to Andy's sub sandwich.
Yes. My Act 2. Hello.
Oh my God, look at that.
Hello, sandwich.
Yeah.
Guys, is that funny stuff or what? And you know, the whole idea of it just makes me laugh because it literally, you can go and put a GoPro anywhere. You really can. And you know, I know Trevor was talking about it last week. He said, you know, I got a GoPro for Christmas. I can't wait to do something with it. And he was talking about possibly sticking on his remote control truck and driving it, you know, over hills and whatnot on the property. And that'd be cool video to be able to do. You know, I want to see what you guys have done with these little cameras. If you guys have like links to some YouTube or Vimeo or whatever of some stuff that you guys have created with your GoPro or other small little video camera, I want to see them. Send me over some links. Send it to the show, and maybe we'll feature your work on one of the up and coming shows because I think it's just fun. It's creative, and you know, the sky's the limit. Literally, you can do just about anything with these little mini cameras. Very, very cool. So anyways, guys, we had a lot more for you, but before we go any further, let's go ahead and take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors.
As photographers, we're always trying to increase sales and profits after every event.
We shoot an event and have hundreds or even thousands of images that just sit on our hard drives.
Perhaps a better workflow would increase sales by getting those valuable images in front of the client.
That's where ShootProof comes in. At shootproof.com, you can have an online gallery for all of your clients' proofing needs.
ShootProof helps increase profits while building your brand and securing your photos without charging commission fees on sales.
ShootProof galleries display your photos beautifully while helping to streamline your workflow and automate more of your business through their intuitive studio control panel.
Once approved, photos can be directly fulfilled through ShootProof's various professional lab partners or fulfilled by you.
All ShootProof plans have the same feature set. You simply choose the number of client photos stored, decide what products to sell, and the price.
Try ShootProof today by taking advantage of their free 30-day trial offer.
As a Digital Photography Cafe viewer, ShootProof is offering a 20% discount off any of their premium plans by using promo code DPC20 at checkout.
ShootProof. Upload, share, sell, print.
All right, guys, we are back. So, you know, another thing that we found this week, which is really interesting, is, you know, always looking for these apps, always looking for a free app. Last week, we found this, a Pac-Man app. You know, they had it for free on through the App Store. We told you to go grab it. Well, here's one that deals with, that was just for fun. This one actually deals with photography, and it does it well. This is really cool. It's called Spark Camera, and it's by I think it's IDEO, and those are the people that created the first mouse for Apple. They are just a creative bunch, and they came up with this app. So it's called Spark Camera. And so what does this thing do? They have a video on this that we're gonna have to roll for you guys, but it's quite interesting because it's just think of it as an app for creatives. It allows you to capture clips. It allows you to apply up to like 10 different filters to these clips. It allows you to add background music from your library. And then when you're all done, share it with your friends and family or social network. Very, very neat. Basically, it's allowing you to create montages. Now, I am a super fan of the montage because I'll tell you, when I first started getting into the photography, let's say for the second time, when we went from film into digital, what set me apart from a lot of local photographers was I was able to offer the client not only the event coverage, not only the 4x6s after, not only the press photos retouched and whatnot, but I also offered them a montage of the event set to music, royalty-free music. And it was a huge hit. It set me apart. They just absolutely loved it. And it just simply worked. It was just really cool. Setting photos of an event to music, it just makes it great. And what happens is these companies or nonprofits or whoever, they will go and put these things on their social media pages or on their main web pages because it's just awesome. It's just cool. It makes the event look bigger than it really is. So this is what I did. And this is kind of what this allows you to do. It turns your iPad or iPhone or whatever into this creative montage source or tool. So very interesting. Take a look at this. It's something that maybe you guys can play with and see what you can do with it. And like I said, if you've never done it before, create montages with your work to show your clients. Try it. I guarantee you they will love it, especially like weddings and whatnot. Do a quick montage of like your top 20 or your top 30 pictures and set it to some, music that is appropriate for it. And they will just be in awe, and they will share that throughout their entire social network, and you will probably get more business. And that's what it's all about, right, guys? So anyways, moving forward, the new Apple ad. Now, I love ads. Sometimes I'll watch the Super Bowl and I want to watch the ads. I love the ads. I will record the Super Bowl, obviously, to watch the Super Bowl, but I'll record it to replay the ads over and over because I just, being a creative for so many years, I just love to see the process that's involved and what they do and how they move forward with telling stories through these ads. So they came up with this new 90-second ad spot for the iPad Air, and it is phenomenal. It is really, it's smart. Let's just put it that way. It is smart. And, they feature Robin Williams' speech from Dead Poets Society. And we're going to roll this video so you can take a look and take a listen.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, "O me, O life of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish. What good amid these, O me, O life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists, and identity. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?"
So, all right. So here you can see how impactful that audio and that video is. Now, is this the absolute, cat's meow for ads that I've ever seen? Well, not necessarily, but I tell you what, well done, Apple, because it definitely moves me as a creative. It inspires me to go and create, even if it's not with this specific app. It's just well done. I love it. So anyways, take a look at that. It's interesting. I don't know if you guys are as into the advertising as I am, but I like to see really good ads. And that's probably from me coming back, my original forte was commercial art and advertising design. So working at the magazines and whatnot, doing ad work for a long time. It's definitely a passion of mine. So anyways, kudos to Apple. Very, very cool. Anyways, there's a lot more. Hang in there. We're going to go ahead and take one more break to hear from our sponsor.
Are you frustrated with slightly out of focus images when you know your autofocus spot was dead on? It's simply not your fault. From manufacturer to manufacturer, and even lens copy to lens copy, there are slight variances to the exact spot where light is being focused onto the sensor. Finally, there's a product that allows you to compensate for those variances and make sharper images immediately. Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool, is an absolute must for every photographer. If you want to make the sharpest images possible, then you need to take control over your camera's focusing system. With the Focus Pyramid, you can calibrate all of your lenses on your lunch break. The Focus Pyramid makes lens calibration quick and easy at an affordable price. So give your lenses a new lease on life and take your photography to the next level. Head over to focuspyramid.com/DPC and get an additional 10% off just for being a show listener.
All right, guys, we are back. So another thing that we saw this week, and it's of interest to me because I do have a film background. I started many years ago in film, and I just love it. And I've always been a proponent of it. It doesn't matter if you are, solely shooting digital. That's fine. I think everyone should develop a can once in their life of film and just see what happens and just watch the process. It is an amazing process. It is where we've come from, and it just moves you to a different level. I think it's just amazing. Anyway, so we're Kickstarter people. We love to take a look at any kind of Kickstarter that has to do with photography, and this one is just that. It's a pinhole camera, but it's not a whole go or something else that's a toy camera. It's even stranger than that. It is a pinhole camera, but it's a pinhole camera that you make yourself. The entire camera is built by you out of pieces of wood. And these the pieces of wood are laser machined, so they're just precise. So, and they all interlock together and they form a real camera. A wooden camera is the oddest thing. So, when you open this up, you stick your film in the back just like you would a normal camera. That you pull it over and you roll it just like you would one of the old cameras. And here you go. It's a straight out pin camera, and the only control you have is your shutter speed. And your shutter speed is how long you open up the pinhole to the light and then close it. That is all that you have. Now, you think, well, what am I going to do with this? The bottom line is when you do this type of photography, it just expands your mind. It just takes away the tool of the camera completely and allows you to just look at a scene. It allows you to analyze the scene and then do what you do after the fact to create what you want to create. So by only having that ability to control shutter speed and nothing else, it really makes you think about everything. Like, for example, you're going to be now, you have an amount of time that you're going to leave the shutter open. So do you want it blown out? Do you want it dark? Do you want it perfectly exposed? How do you want this set up? Do you want it at an angle? Do you want something perfectly flat? How do you want it? Putting this thing together, the composition of the photo, right? Remember, pinhole cameras have an infinite focal range. So everything will be in focus, or should I say out of focus? It really depends. And that's kind of the fun of it. Just like the whole gut. That's what's fun. You just don't know what you're going to get until you develop the film. And that is just great. Like I said, develop a can of film as a digital photographer sometime in your life. And it is just great. It is an amazing, amazing thing. So, of course, you need to monitor light, right? You need a meter light. How do you do that? Well, Do you have a light meter? Many of you guys that are digital guys have never worked with film in the past. Don't even know what a light meter is. They know the camera does light metering, but you don't know how or why, how it does it, So do you go out and buy a light meter? No. You could even go and use your iPhone or your smartphone, download a light meter app and get some pretty good information out of that app to be able to know, in this situation, you have your camera set up. How long do you have to leave that shutter open to create a perfectly exposed shot, an underexposed shot, or an overexposed shot? So it allows you to just think and kind of play. So I really like that. And if you do have a light meter, it gives you a reason to stick a new battery in the thing to go out there and actually take some light readings. And you'd be surprised. It opens up your mind creatively. I really like it. It's fun. Bottom line, it's fun. Anyways, check it out. Really cool. Kickstarter, it's doing pretty well. I think he's got about $10,000 is what he's looking to come up with for this Kickstarter. We'll go ahead and put a link in the show notes. And I think he's pretty close to the 10 grand already. So very neat. I like it a lot. So moving forward, Google image search. Now, as creatives, we are always looking for images. So we have maybe an iStock account or some other stock photography account because we need images. We need images for maybe backgrounds for a wedding album, or we need images for backgrounds on a green screen that we're doing for maybe a bar mitzvah or something, or whatever it is. We need material, collateral material. So if we can't go out and shoot it, we need to find it. So it's always a question. Well, we found something. It didn't say that it was a copyright. Well, is there? Is there not? Can I use it? Should I use it? Should I not? Well, Google has had something way back since 2009, which probably a lot of you don't even know about. It's under the advanced options, and it allows you to search based on licensing. So you can do a search, and instead of like in images, search for different sizes, you can actually search for licensing. Is it a CC? Is it a Creative Commons image where you can use it? Can you manipulate it? Is it completely free? Do you have, what do you need to do to use it? So that is a very powerful thing. So Law Professor, the guy that actually was kind of like the founder of the whole Creative Commons thing, his name is Lawrence Lessig. He requested this change, that Google moved it from the advanced into the main, and they ended up doing it. Now, Microsoft Bing's added this option way back, I think it was in July. Front and center, you can actually search for things based on how it stands as far as royalty, or is it Creative Commons, or what is it? How does it stand? How is this picture? How is it available to you? Or is it just fully copyrighted and you can't use it at all? Well, you need to know, because you want to remain 100% legit with everything you do. You don't want someone to later on say, oh, that was my picture and you used it for a composite. We've seen this countless times in the past. We've seen this with that main Obama image, where he took a picture from a press photographer and he turned it into the way he turned it into, I think it was like red and blue, and it was very abstract. And it was the guy's image, and he just changed it up, and now that he made probably millions on this image of President Obama. So you need to know before you go and use. It doesn't even matter if it's an image or even music. You need to know, is it something that you can use, or do you have to pay a certain royalty for it, or is it free, or is it CC? And if it is CC, how is it CC? What do you need to do? So Google and Bing both stepped up. They both have it front and center now. You can search that way. So something that you should do. If you haven't done it in the past, take a look. It used to be, like I said, in the advanced feature. It no longer is. And I tell you what, many of us use iStock for stock photography on a regular basis. Using Google or using Bing and searching like this will take some of that need away. Now, of course, if you have something specific that you don't find through Google, you're still going to have to go and buy it. That's fine. But you will be amazed. You will be shocked at how many high quality shots that you can find that is just 100% royalty free that you can use in your work. Doesn't matter if it's a composite or maybe it's a video or whatever it is, you can use it, and legally so. So anyways, guys, last show was so long, and we want to kind of tighten it up a little bit. So we're going to just quickly get out for this week. And if you guys want to find show notes, we have all the links from everything in our show notes. Go over to digitalphotographycafe.com/137. 137. And don't forget to send your questions and comments to comments@digitalphotographycafe.com or simply call 440-345-6707. Once again, that's 440-345-6707. And if you want to get in touch with Trevor, you can do so at Twitter @TrevorCurrent. You can find me on Twitter also. That's @JosephChristina, and that's Christina without an H. And we will see you guys next week.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe Show with Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina. Be sure to subscribe to the show for free in iTunes or through RSS. You can also listen on Stitcher and TuneIn Radio and watch in HD on TiVo. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.